If you are one of these resellers that is hoping to pick up a bunch of pieces so that you can then resell them and make a profit, be aware. Hey there everyone, this is Jessica from DomesticatedMe.com. Today we're discussing everything you need to know right now about the latest designer collaboration from H&M, and that is with Mugler. Before I begin, let me just apologize for my pronunciation. I am not a native French speaker. I am trying to learn some French, but I know that my pronunciation is not that great, so please forgive me, but I will do my best. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am the Collaboration Collection girl of YouTube. Okay, yes, that's clearly a self-imposed title. I may not be the girl, but I'm certainly one of the girls who has been covering collaboration collections for years. My very first was the Versace for H&M Collection way back in the day. It's one of my very first YouTube videos. In fact, did you know that I am actually featured in Target's 20th anniversary coffee book because of my collaboration collection hauls? So there you go. I'm a big fan of collaboration collections. I've certainly covered several of them over the last few years. In the many years that I've covered collaboration collections, there's basically two types of collaborations. The first of which is when two brands join together and combine both aesthetics and styles to create one collection. Some examples of this are Gucci for Adidas, Prada for Adidas, a lot of Adidas, let's just be honest. We've also had Puma by Balmain, Jimmy Choo with Timberland, and even Fendace, although technically Fendace was a swap, but it's still the same type where you have two different houses combining their aesthetics to create pieces that reflect both brands. The second type of collaboration is when a designer or a brand collaborates with a more accessible retailer to release a collection that is more attainable for the everyday consumer. Examples of these kinds of collaborations include Derek Lam for Kohl's. Target is also very well known for these collaboration collections. Past collections include a collaboration with Missoni. They even teamed up with Neiman Marcus to launch a collection that featured pieces from designers like Oscar de la Renta, Carolina Herrera, DVF, Altuzzara, and Marc Jacobs. Now, H&M also has a very long history of collaborating with designers and designer brands. As mentioned, this has included collaborations with brands like Versace, Balmain, Moschino, and many more. In fact, it's my personal opinion that H&M has become so well known and good with these collaboration collections that Target has seemed to have backed off of doing collaborations with luxury designers and are now going a different route by featuring up and coming or at least less well known designers. I wouldn't say that all of these designers are small or emerging, they're just not as well known to the masses. For example, the Colombian designer Joana Ortiz, my personal favorite, and Sergio Hudson. Now, are these collaboration collections a good idea? Some would say no, and I gotta be honest, a lot of the feedback that I hear when it comes to people who don't like these collaborations kind of sounds like, oh no, the pros will now have what I have. Now I'm joking, but a lot of that does sound like that's what is at the core of people's issues with these collaboration collections. Some will immediately say, this is going to cheapen the brand. And to me, that often sounds like, I just don't want people who are not in my socioeconomic circles to have access to the nice things that I have access to. But that's just me. To that I say, no, because for these collections, the quality will not be the same. The materials, where things are made, how things are made are going to be very different because of the price point. Now, obviously, if it's not your cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea. And so there's kind of no point. There's nothing that they can do or say that's going to make you shop this collection. Now, there are some valid reasons for why people do not like these collaboration collections. I can totally understand the frustration of someone who just spent a lot of money on a piece from a brand only to see it become available at a much cheaper price point in one of these collaboration collections. Like, I totally get that. This isn't like they're designing a whole line at the store. This is a very limited edition, one-time collection that's going to be released, and that's it. Especially when it comes to H&M, they tend to collaborate once and then that's it. Another thing is that these pieces will be very hard to get. You will either have to wait in line at physical stores if they are available in your local area for hours, or shop them online and they tend to sell out right away. So it's not like you're guaranteed a piece just because you want one. Now, let me just say this. These brands are not stupid. They don't do these collaboration collections out of the goodness of their heart. They're trying to reach an audience that they don't already have. Oftentimes, this means a younger consumer who can't afford the label right now, but may be able to in the future. So they're cultivating another generation of future loyal shoppers. And of course, the hype. I can almost guarantee you that if you're watching this video a few days before the launch and a few days after the launch, you are going to be inundated with news and content about this collaboration collection. So what are some of the reasons why doing a collaboration collection is a good idea? Of course, number one is that it's giving people who don't usually have access to these brands or pieces an opportunity to maybe own a very special piece. And I'm using the word special because at the end of the day, this is a limited edition collection. So any piece from this collection is limited edition. So they're going to be rare and therefore special, regardless of whether it's a lower quality or cheaper price. It's going to be special just from the fact that it's limited edition and that not everyone can get one of these pieces. For me, that is the reason why I started shopping these collaboration collections, because although from what you can see from my channel and from my background, I love a designer handbag, I love designer shoes, but when it comes to clothing, I am just not a person who is willing to drop a large amount on a piece of clothing. I much rather save up and spend, $1,000 on a handbag or shoes or accessories that I can use over and over and over again over owning one expensive item or outfit. I personally will look at brands who choose to do collaboration collections like this under a much better light because they clearly are not too good for us commoners. And I'm all for democratizing fashion and making it more accessible to more people. Some brands obviously and purposely create an aura of exclusivity and, if it works for you, it works for you, to each their own. So who's helping who exactly with collaboration collections like this? Some would argue that when brands do this, it's because the brands are struggling. When it comes to this collection in particular, I would say that it's not the case. In fact, I think Mugler has been having a moment for the last few years. I think there's been a resurgence in people who shop the brand and enjoy pieces from the brand. I think there's also an aura of nostalgia happening right now since the death of Thierry Mugler. There's even a Mugler exhibit happening right now in the Brooklyn Museum. I'm doing this because this is where Brooklyn is to where I am right now. And in fact, the opposite might be true because I've certainly been noticing that H&M stores have been closing. I'm screwed here because if I want to shop this collection in person, I would have to go to Manhattan, which I'm not going to do because I'm sure there's going to be an hours long line waiting out there and I'm not doing that anymore. Or I would have to go out towards Long Island to be able to even see this collection if they're going to go to that Long Island store. And in the last few years, we've been seeing a lot of pushback against fast fashion, which H&M falls under that category. They've been really pushing back on that narrative with their eco-conscious pieces and the fact that they offer fabric recycling. All right, so now let's talk about this collection specifically. Last week, H&M released a music video featuring Amaarae, Shy Girl, Earth Eater, and Arca. They worked with producer Ashlyn Mines to create an exclusive campaign anthem, a reimagined version of the 1998 Stardust song Music Sounds Better With You. It was directed by Torso, styled by Haley Wallens, and features choreography by Miami Northwestern dance instructor Tracy Young Byron. The music video also features Jerry Hall, Connie Fleming, and other friends of the brand. In this video, we got our first look at the pieces in this collaboration collection. Casey Cadwallader, the brand's creative director, is including a mix of new pieces, signature Mugler looks, and archive remakes. H&M by Mugler will be released on May 11th. We're seeing a lot of similar pieces to the bodysuits and cutout tops and dresses and products that they already produce for their regular line. There are a lot of people who look for pieces that are much cheaper that look like Mugler, and so this, I think, is a good response to that by saying you don't need to get or find a dupe or a counterfeit or a knockoff because we're making it with this collection. What I like about this collaboration is that because Mugler is teaming up with H&M, they're going to be much more size inclusive. From what I've seen, the largest size that they offer is a US 14. But with H&M, just from the video that we saw that announced the collaboration or showed the pieces for the first time, we're seeing much larger sizing here. So I think that that's great that H&M always pushes the brands that they work with to be more size inclusive because of the range that they normally carry. We also don't know what the prices for these pieces are just yet. So definitely make sure that you're subscribed so that when that information comes out, I will update you on that. And actually now is a perfect opportunity for me to introduce myself. If you are new here, welcome, bienvenidos. My name is Jessica Flores and I am a lifestyle content creator, blogger, and YouTuber. I create content about beauty, fashion, DIY projects, home decor, travel, you name it, I cover it all. So if any of those topics interest you, then go ahead and click that subscribe button and click the notification button next to it. That way you'll be notified whenever my videos go out, and I make new videos every week. So if you have your notifications on, you won't miss a thing. And another positive that I'm foreseeing with these pieces is that because they already produce a high-end version of, their leggings or their tops, their dresses, I feel like there's going to be a cap when it comes to the resale market. If you are buying a dress that is made by the brand that is sold at a couple of, at this price point, then you can only offer this reproduction or dupe by the brand up to a certain level, because if their prices are the same, then the average person is going to say, why am I going to buy this version that is cheaper, it's not the same quality, it's not the same, manufactured the same way, when I can just go to the brand and buy it for the price that it is. So do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's going to be a cap because people are going to say, why am I going to buy that piece for that much money when I can just go to the brand and buy it there? So if you are one of these resellers that is hoping to pick up a bunch of pieces so that you can then resell them and make a profit, be aware of that, because otherwise the person is just going to be like, I am not going to buy that cheaper version of this top for the same price as the actual top that's made better with better quality, better materials, etc. So be aware. Will I be shopping this collection? The truth is, I don't know. As I mentioned, my local H&M has closed, so I would have to go to Manhattan, which I'm not going to do, because that's going to be the first place to sell out. I might have to go out towards Long Island. I don't know if I'm willing to do that for this piece. I would be inclined to shop online, but those pieces tend to sell out so fast, so I don't know. Now let me be honest with you. One of the reasons why I am unsure if I'm going to shop this collection is because, as you see from the pieces, you have to be very comfortable with your body to wear a lot of these pieces. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be thin or a certain size or a certain shape. You just have to be comfortable with your body. I am not at that point. I just had a baby a few months ago. I don't know if I should be shopping for the body that I have or the body that I'm hoping to have, I'm working towards having. So sizing wise, I'm just like, I have no idea. And again, the prices. It comes down to the prices. If they make sense to me, if the pieces that I like make sense to me versus the ones that are available at Mugler right now, that will be a big deciding factor for me. If you are hoping to shop this collection, here are my recommendations for the best pieces. Number one is the corset hoodie. I think it's a very unique looking piece. I personally think it's very cool. I'm sure that this version will be a fraction of the price of what they usually go for directly from Mugler. So I just think it's cool. So that is like number one on my wish list. Then there is the corset blazer, also very cool. If you can get it, it'll be at a fraction of the price that they normally retail for directly from Mugler. Then I really like the cutout corset. Now this piece I also think is really beautiful. The corset, which is very trendy right now, and I think it's actually an additional piece that she's wearing over it. It seems to be like this like shrug / long glove combination piece, and together I think it looks very cool, very Mugler, but also trendy because both gloves and corsets are in right now. The jeans, obviously iconic. If you can get them for a cheaper price, if you can get them period, I think that would be a cool piece that you can have in your collection. The rhinestone bodysuit, while it's not for me, seeing it in that music video, it looks spectacular. I mean, can you imagine walking into a club or an evening event and just sparkling? Like, I think that's a really, really cool piece. And as I mentioned, the cutout trouser, I think that's a really big, well-known piece for the brand. It seems to be a piece from the men's line, but if you like a loose-fitting trouser, then definitely pick one of these up. The blue dress, I think it looks great. If you can rock it, go ahead. That's fantastic. If you're comfortable in something like that, go ahead and get it because wow, it's cool. One of the last things that we see in the video is that dark teal peacock green dress with the coat, and I think that looks fantastic. I think it looks really cool, so I definitely would look into those pieces. Here's another tip for you. If you are interested in this collection and you miss out because you don't have a store near you and you weren't able to grab a piece online, wait usually about 2 weeks. Usually it's 14 days. They'll give people 7 to 14 days to make the returns, and you will see a lot of those pieces come back. I've noticed that with the last few collections, that people, after not being able to sell them online or not having it work out, they'll return it to an H&M store, and you might be able to get a piece that way. All right, and that's everything that you should know right now about this collaboration collection. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful. Let me know in the comment section below if you're planning to shop this collection, if you agree with me and my thoughts about collaboration collections in general. What are your feelings about them? If you have any thoughts about this collaboration collection specifically, let me know in the comment section below. But be respectful because, you know, everyone's tastes are different, so let's just be a little respectful. We're nice over here. At least we try to be. Click or tap right here to watch my last video, or click down below to watch another video that you might enjoy. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.